Hello, everyone. Welcome to Muppin Sewing Emporium here on this lovely, fantastic Friday evening. It is Friday, and that means it is I, Cheryl Whited, your host extraordinaire. I am coming to you live through the power of the internet from beautiful, sunny, gorgeous weather today, downtown Paducah, Kentucky. How are you doing today? Hopefully, you are wonderfully well. It is a fantastic Friday tonight, and I have an awful lot of things to show you. I hope that tonight is a good night for you as it is for me. We had the loveliest day in the shop today. I have to say, today was, it was one of those days where the weather cooperated and people were out and about and just happy. And they came into the shop and all was well with the world. It was just a nice day. And I hope you had a nice day today too. We have so many new things. We have new brushes. We have new swabs. We have new spool huggers. We have quilt sticks. I have so many things to show you. So let's talk about it. Shall we dive in? If you're out there and you can hear me, tell me where you are watching from tonight so that we can all say hello and all of that fun stuff. So let's bring on yonder extra camera. Yay! It's all fun and games until the technology stops. Hopefully you can see this. The other day we did our live vintage linen show, and for a good section of the vintage linen show, it did not show. So yeah, and it looks like it is stuck. So, this is the technology part that really gets me, It's a good night to have with Muppin. Thank you. Thank you. All right, so we are going to restart this link, see if I can get it to work. So, technology, it's my favorite. It's not really. I always seem to have this problem. I want to get the video to work, and then I try to get the video to work, and the video does not work, and then I'm here trying to make it look like I put all this together so seamlessly when it's just, we do what we can, I say. All right, so let's see here. If now we have new video. Let's see. I have to wait because there's a delay. Not like a what do you call that when you are on like a video delay, like an audio delay. Yeah. So it looks like it's working now. Like when you're on an audio delay because they're afraid that you're going to have to bleep out all the dirty words. Yes. Okay. So we have these two things. We're going to show you that. Oh, really bad echo. Thank you for that. Thank you. I fixed it. That when it's the double microphone. That's what it is. So there's this microphone and then there's that microphone. So that's what it was. So I believe that should be fixed now. Thank you. I know, I appreciate, again, technology. We both love and hate it. Okay. So we have a bunch of restocks, and some of these restocks are kinds of things that you probably you know, probably wanted to see that, you know. Ooh, yay, look at all these folks. Thank you for telling me that the audio is better. Thank you. Yeah, I saw the new tools earlier. Can't wait to see them in action. You will tonight. Good evening from Markleville. Well, welcome, Ginger. I appreciate you. The workshop day that we had in Pendleton, Indiana. And you know, when I got back from Indiana, this was really funny. Somebody said to me, "You should come out to our neck of the woods." They were in our shop. And I said, "Oh, where are you from?" "Well, I'm from Pendleton, Indiana." And I said, "I was just there." And they did not, could not believe that they missed me. So there's that. I thought that was really funny, but she is not a member of your guild, and I did tell her that she should join. Okay, so we have a lot of restocks, and you know, our website's been out of quite a few things. They're back. The ever popular get to the point heirloom needles are back in stock. Yay! You guys, it always blows my mind when these sell out, because I know how much you love our hand sewing needles. These we have made specially for us. They are fantastic, and they're back. They're back in stock. So you guys, there you go. Also, beeswax is back in stock. That also has been out of stock on our website. So for those of you that have been, oh, I need to get those needles, they're back. Also, these little guys, these are some of the best little dang, I call them the best little dang snips. And these little scissors, they're tiny. They're like 2 inches. They're real, like 2¼ inches. They're so small. But let me tell you, I have traveled with a pair, a yellow pair even. They come in pink, green, and yellow. I've traveled with a yellow pair in my sewing kit that has gone on every airplane I have ever been on in the last, I can't even tell you how many years I've been traveling with this little pair of scissors. And can we talk about the fact that they actually cut? So look at this, right? They actually cut. These are not like nasty like snips that don't cut. They actually do cut. So these little guys, they're back in stock. Very, very excited about that. So that is back in stock. And if you remember my tablecloth coat, the pattern for that coat is back in stock. And this is how quick. So we had that tablecloth coat on our show 3 weeks ago. I think it was 3 weeks ago. And yes. Many years ago, a local quilt store had pre-waxed thread. Do you think that's something I could find? I will look for it. Yes. That is something I will look for it, Marion. I have not heard of that, but I will look. I'm sure it came in like it's probably from a beading section, like a beading store. So let me look. I have my ways. I will look for that. Tracy, love the snips. Lost my original after years and was heartbroken. Got 2 more immediately. These, I literally have one in every sewing box that I own. And I think I keep a pair in the car, in my purse. These, because they have the little silicone uh, cover on them, they're fantastic. So I can't say enough about these little guys. I mean, and just like, all of our little smalls, we always do a really, really good job. So, when am I going to get thimbles in? I do not know. The pink thimbles have been the really, really. So we got a new batch in, and they were not the right kind. They weren't the right kind of silicone. So I sent them back. And so we're still working on it. Oh, it was a friend, quilt merchant. She couldn't find it again, but it was the best. All right, well, I will look for it, Marion. I will do that. So there you go. So we've got the needles in stock. We've got beeswax. We've got these guys, and we have the coats. Now, so this was on our show like 3 weeks ago, and Teresa is the who created this pattern. She said that, she's been teaching this for quite some time now, and she is now making patterns for the actual pieces of the coat where you can quilt just those panels and put your coat together. It is the coolest idea. And so as soon as those come in, we will also be carrying those. But I got these back in today, literally today. And as soon as I put these out on the floor, 2 of them sold immediately. I am not kidding when I say this coat fad is not, it's not a fad, and it's not going anywhere. Quilt coats, or even if you have the Cuddle Minky fabric, this is great to make it out of that. If you have pre-quilted cheater cloth fabric, fantastic to make out of this coat pattern. Could not be easier to make. Plus, it has amazing pockets. Okay, it's got pockets on the side, and we also have a set of patterns for alternate pockets. So that's also very cool. So if you want alternate pockets, now the alternate pocket pattern is by Quilt Smart, and that you can use with any jacket, coat. If you have a coat that you love and it does not have pockets, the Quilt Smart pocket pattern, you can put a pocket on it, and it's really, really cool. So this is fantastic. It's got lots of great and super great sizing, so it's very plus size friendly. I think I made this size, but I probably could have gone down to this one. So, and I'm a big fluffy lady, and I didn't even go all the way up to the big size. So, but take a look at that. You have all these different options, and you can put a hood on it. You can choose not to put on a hood. You have a collar option. It's just a great, great, great pattern. And I am so happy to support my good friend Teresa with this pattern. She's fantastic. And the directions are, as I like to say, chef's kiss. So the pattern, excellent, and so are the instructions. Okay, so there's that. Now, last week here on the show, I showed you a Paducah pattern, or a Paducah quilt, and it is now a pattern. And what is really great, and this is of course for sale in our shop, but it includes a fusible shape of Kentucky that is pre-cut for you, so you do not have to cut that out. And if you do not like your handwriting, guess what? We have some options here. You can quilt your own Paducah, or you can trace the word here. And you can also use our Kentucky map. It's already pre-printed and everything for you, all out of Fusible. So this is what, backwards? So this is how, so you would put your fabric down and fuse it on, and then you just trim around your state of Kentucky, fuse it onto your background, and quilt away. So it is great for both Paducah and Kentucky. We do call this pattern Pretty Little City, which is the name of, that is the part of a song about Paducah that is in a movie with Carmen Miranda. And Carmen Miranda sings part of the song, Paducah, Paducah, pretty little city in Kentucky. I'm singing it terribly, but there you go. There's Kentucky. Oh, I love Teresa. She's, oh yes, we were together in at Linda Z's in Illinois. Anyway, so this is now out, available in our shop. There you go. He's you could just put Kentucky, and you can instead, this is a little button, but you could put your thing over here wherever Louisville is. I don't know all the geography of Kentucky yet. I know Paducah's there, and I know Bowling Green's somewhere in here. That's it. That's all I know. So so that's out now. Pretty Little City. That's Paducah. All right. So today over on my, I think it was on my Instagram, and I think that video transferred over a reel. It's, you know, Instagram's always getting you trying to do all these videos. It's these little guys. These are our tidy up disposable swabs. Now, I have to tell you, these are the best little cleaners for your machine that you could ever use. And I actually talked about these. I talked them over with a friend of mine, with my friend Andy from the Sewing Doc. Now, she teaches classes on how to maintain your own machines. And these little swabs are the only kind that she recommends to get the fluffs out of your machine. The reason that she recommends these over like a Q-tip or anything like that is that these little brush heads, you're not going to be able to get the fibers off of this, right? So what it does is it grabs the gunk, right? The fluffs, and you just, you know, you can run this around the interior of your machine, grab all the gunk. You can actually take your finger and like pull the fluff off, and then keep going. And then when this is dirty and gross, you'll notice that it becomes the same color as the stick. That's time to throw it away and get a new one, right? Or recycle it, because it is made of recyclable plastic. Okay, so you've got these little swabs, and yes, they are so small, they get into all the good places. The other thing these are great for is, you know, that needle bar. When the needle bar comes down and you've got all that fluff on the needle bar, it's great to get up into that area and get all the fluff off the needle bar. And then if you decide to oil your machine and you need to make sure that like there's no extra oil, this is great for that. If you have a little squeaky part on, let's say I know one of my pieces that always makes a lot of noise is my darning foot, and it's got a little spring on it, and that spring just goes up and down, and every once in a while it gets real squeaky when I overuse that little guy. So what I do is I take a little dab of the machine oil and I get it on one of these, and then I just lightly go over that spring, and it doesn't squeak anymore. And you know, these metal parts, right, they're going up and down, they're rubbing up against each other, they need to be oiled. And all inside of your bobbin case, all that fluff there is making your machine skip stitches. So it is a good thing to go ahead and clean that out. The other thing is you can, I know you think, oh, I'm told I got to take my machine in to get cleaned. You can remove the needle plate, and you can remove that, and you can use one of these to clean around, and then just put the plate back on, and you're not harming your machine by doing that. And so you get 12 sticks for $3, and they are super great for dusting your machine. So we have these right now in the shop. Really awesome thing. So we've got this ready to go. Okay, so then another new thing for us and for everything is the water brushes. Okay, so this is a really cool thing. These are water brushes that you can fill with water, or you can fill this with your starch. Now I have Mary Ellen's Best Press in here, and what you do is you just take the this top off here like this, and I just used the spray, and I just sprayed it like right up against the sprayer so it didn't get everywhere, but I just sprayed it into there. And then you go ahead and tighten that back on. And then what you do is you squeeze the brush, squeeze this part here, and that causes the material or the liquid to come out. So look at that. So you can see that coming right out. Okay. So you're like, why why would I do that? There are so many reasons, but here's just a couple. Now, we sell them in a 2-pack. One can be water and one can be your Best Press or your other starch material. So here, if I am, let's say I have a fabric and I want to put down a little bit of this, and I'm going to fold this fabric, and I want just to have this fold happen like in a really strange place, right? I just take that, put the fabric there, and then I can just finger press it, and you've got a pretty sharp fold there without me having to get my iron out. And that makes a really cool little a little finger press. So I mean, and that's pretty good, right? Look at here, right over here where I don't have any. Let's cut that. We'll use our little skizzer here to cut a piece off. These, I'm telling you, these are good scissors. They work really well. Okay, so you've got this piece here, and we want to put a fold in it. Or we want this fold here to relax. We don't have our iron out, no problem. We can just run that there. But what we're going to do is you're just going to squeeze and keep some squeezing on it. And you can see that coming out. Just get that a little bit damp like that. And that's going to totally relax those fibers. And now I can press this, and I'm not overspraying the whole piece of fabric. Like, let's imagine, right, that I'm constantly pressing and constantly pressing, and I'm constantly spraying this with starch. You're just building up all that starch here in that fabric. And so this is allowing you to do that fold right there, press, and you're done. The other thing is, oh my gosh, how many times have we done this, right? Foundation paper piecing. I am not the world's best foundation paper piecer. I actually, I this is always really, really tough for me. But this is the part that people either love or hate, depending. But what you do is you get your brush that's filled with water, and you run this over each of these stitched lines. And let me tell you, peeling out this paper then is going to be like a magic, like it's going to come out like magic. So, you fill your brush with water, and you just run that over each of the seams, and this paper is just going to get super dissolvey, and it'll separate right at all of those seams and just pull out, and you'll be able to get all of the fabric without, or all of the paper without having to really mess with the fabric. So these are indispensable. I love these, and I've been using the best press in here. If you have a set of apple pops, those little circles, the apple pops are the little round circles, and you take your circle and you press it with, they're metal circles, right? And you put your fabric between them, and then they tell you to like spray with starch. This is what we're going to do instead. We're going to take our best press that's in here, and you can see it floating around in there. You take your best press and you run that around that piece, and then boom, it's now got starch on it, and you can press it and you can continue. So you can see here, like my little, it got a little too damp, but I was really pushing on it hard. But you don't have to push that hard. It does come right out. It's like a little paintbrush. And you can see here, it puts just enough down on the fabric, just enough to get the fibers to relax. Okay, and that's what a lot of these things do. Thank you, Mary. I appreciate that. We like to have a lot of fun here and find new and interesting tools for you guys. So this is going to be, we call them the Not Your Granny's water brushes. Charlotte, I do that with my paper piecing. They're great. Yes. So yes, and there you go, the applique circles, right? But they all call for you to press into the center around the circle, right? So you take the, and if you just run a little bit of this around, boom, so nice. And she does have ovals and stems. Any of that where you will need a little bit of starch, this is a great option. And they're washable, so like if you want to, you can unscrew this. I keep turning it the wrong way. You can unscrew this, and you can rinse this out. You can rinse the tip out. So don't worry if they don't get, if they feel like they're getting gunked up. You go ahead and just, rinse it out. Same thing with the water one. Now, if you get to a point where you have the two and you want one or the other, just take a magic marker and write water, and write starch on there. But you can see I've got like my little bit of starch in there, not very much left, but you get the idea. The water brushes are a really great project. And I think, if this is something that you want to come in and grab. So there is that. My quilting auntie tried to teach me needle turn applique. Would have been easier with these to do a nice job on those stems. Yeah, absolutely. Because anytime you're trying to do that small turn under, right? And you want to do that very like fine turn, especially if you need to clip the curves and things, something like this, just a little bit right there, right? It doesn't take a lot, but just enough, just a little bit of that liquid is going to help the fiber relax. When you're getting that, you can either do it with water or you can do it with with the starch. But whatever you're using is going to help the fibers relax, right? Because when they come from the factory, they've been machined and milled, and they're really stiff in their ways. They also come sometimes with sizing already in the material. And so that is going to help that fiber, the liquid helps the fiber relax. And then if you use the starch, when you actually do press it, it's going to actually keep it in that shape a lot longer. It does work with water that way too. Joan has a question. What do I have for threading needles? I've suffered some vision decline. I am still looking for the best tool for needle threading. And I will tell you my trick for needle threading, and your mileage may vary, but I have this one trick and it does seem to work for that. So let me pull over here and some thread, and I can show you here. It's another time where I'm going to use my little snippy snips. I love these things. We just got them back in stock. They're so great. Okay. So here's the trick. Let me get my needle. We can find one with a terrible eye. Oh, let's see. Look at this one. This is not, you can tell this is not a needle, not my needle. Okay. So here's what they call a gold eye needle. This is not my needle. As you can see, I'm taking off my glasses. I have to take off my glasses. I need to get my bifocals renewed. So I'm in the same boat. Trust me. All right. So what I do, here's how I do it. And like I said, your mileage may vary. Let me get me set up here on the camera so I'm 100%. There we go. Okay. So what I do, and this is my needle threading trick. I've done this same way for years now. And it's like the needle whisperer. It works every time. What you need to do is once you cut your thread, you go like this, and that pulls all the threads into the same direction. So you just pinch it a few times. And then you pull the thread down so that just the tiniest little bit is sticking out between your thumb and your forefinger. Just the tiniest little bit. And then if you can see this terrible, terrible eye. I'm trying to get it back in focus here. I apologize. This is a very fussy little camera. Okay, so this is a terrible little eye. And you put it onto the needle. I'm trying to get it. All right. So you put it onto the needle. Look at that. Like literally this like technique works for me every time. It's more about putting the needle onto the thread than it is the other way around. And I have a very good YouTube video for this. Marion, thank you. They're press-ons. They are from Olive and June press-ons. They last me like a week. So yeah, give that one a try. That's how I do it. It works. It works it's like, what is it? 60% of the time it works every time. No, it works every time for me. This is a terrible little horrible needle, but I'll tell you what, it works all the time for me. So everyone's watching, so it didn't want to get in there. Yeah, I who have been on national television and sewing on national TV, and I'll get a knot in my thread every time when I'm on television. Every time. It happens every time. Yeah. So, am I serious? I pay a lot of money for my nails. Yeah, these were 10. They're $10. They're at Target. I think Walmart just started carrying them too. And they got colors, they got different lengths. Yeah, it's $10. I stopped so ever since I've moved here to Kentucky, I have not I have not had to go get my nails done. I use Olive and June. Charlotte says, I'm sewing the binding on my I Believe wall hanging tonight. Yay! I'll try that method. Of course, I'm using your needles. Yes, I do appreciate that. Thank you. Joan, loss of depth perception might be less of a challenge. Because you're getting that little thread as a little speck there, and you're placing it onto that speck. You're kind of not having to do the whole, as I call, the lick and stick. Okay, most people, when they thread a needle, they're like this. They're like, I missed and I missed and I missed and I missed. Or they're trying to do that. I mean, I am not kidding. This is a terrible eye. I don't even know why I own this needle. It should go directly into the trash, because I don't own needles with eyes like that, because they suck. And this needle is far too short for you to be doing anything. Okay, this is our needle right here. And I would prefer, where is it? No, that's not ours either. That's a broken needle. Why do I not have a needle? Well, I got them in here. So yeah, like our needles are so much easier to use because just who's got time to like handle a needle that is that much smaller, right? You get much more ability to put all of your all this motion, range of motion that you have with this versus this little dinky thing, and the fact that you can't thread it now. And they sell these that are gold dipped so that you can see the eye better. You don't have to have that. You can have a needle that actually has a decent eye that you can see and you can thread it. Okay, I'm just saying, your mileage may vary, but that's how I like to do it. Okay, so we talked about the water brushes. We talked about how great they are on your fabric, how they have lots of uses for applique, for paper piecing, all these really great ways that you can use these little guys. So I'm super excited about them, and I'm glad that we have these now in the shop and online, and of course our little doodads are back. Okay, little skizzors are back. Okay, now we have what I call this the quilt stick. Charlie doesn't like that name, but that's what I'm calling it. And wait, is having a properly designed eye is crazy talk. Yeah, Jerry, from an engineering standpoint, the needle, which has not changed for millennia, like the needle is a very primitive thing. This is not a primitive needle. This is a fairly new needle. But I mean, even a wooden needle like this is still like they were whittled out of animal bone. So, we have not made a lot of improvements on the sewing needle, but that one is a good, having a good eye is that. Okay, so the sewing stick, quilting stick, STIK. Okay, so we are calling this the quilting stick. You have probably seen these as the purple thing or whatever. But they are multi-use tools, which I do not like the tool in the sewing room that does only one thing. I do not like tools that only do one thing. This is my tool of choice. And this here, oh, it's doing its thing now. It's having a freak out. Hang on, I gotta set it again. There we go. So this has a little end here that you can see. It's got like a marking on it. It's hard to see in the light. It says 1/4. So this is 1/4 of an inch. So when you are sewing, right, and you need to really quickly determine if your seam is 1/4 of an inch, this is here to help you. Okay, so that's going to be able to like quickly pull tell you if you're sewing at 1/4 of an inch. This is also bent so that you can push your fabric under the machine, right, with your stick, and you can use it as a stiletto. Now, I'm sure you all have very lovely metal stilettos, but what I found, two things, was that I was potentially moving the fabric with a metal stiletto usually has a very, very sharp, pointy tip. This is a rounded tip. So this is not going to pierce my fabric, but also it is not going to damage the needle plate. Because when you're using a metal one, I was actually scratching my needle plate over and over again. So it can be used a couple different ways. You can use the flat end to just help guide the fabric under the feed dogs, or if you can use it on the pointy, what I call the pointy side, to push the fabric with a little bit more force. Now, the plastic means it's not going to damage your needle plate, but it is also not going to absolutely ruin your needle should your needle strike this. If your needle strikes a metal tool, right, it's going to break, it's going to potentially come back at you. We don't want that. What we want the needle to do is to hit something like plastic and bounce off of it and potentially either push it out of the way, or if it does break, it's not going to like just ricochet back up into your eyeball. So we want something that isn't going to cause more damage than not, so that's another thing. But also it has this wonderful little opening here, and that means that you can thread this with some fabric or other material. You can use this for your elastic and things like that, and now you can use this to push this through for relacing a hoodie. If you've pulled the string out of your sweatpants or your pajama pants, you can redo that. You can pull elastic through, because this is nice and long and you're able to grab it and pull it through. So it acts as a bodkin, which is what that is called. And so now it acts as a bodkin. So it does at least 3 things, potentially more. And you know me, I love tools that do more than that. Okay. I can't, it's just, it's got to do more than one thing for me. That's why I like the water brushes that, do more than one thing, because a tool should be multi-use. Okay, it should do lots of things in your sewing room rather than just do the one thing. And it's like the avocado knife. Right, like the who is it, Alton Brown, the chef. He does not like what he calls the unitasker in the sewing room. Speaking of cool tools, we now also have spool huggers. These lovely little guys, now they can be a fashionable ring, but they can also be, they are great for keeping your spools from unwinding or tangling, especially if you're going to take this thread and you're going to toss it into your sewing, your bag, your sewing tool bag. This is great to keep it from unwinding, and you can put these on any size spool that you have. So it works on this kind, and you can put it around that. You can use it on this kind, and you can put it around that too. Okay, so no more having to find that little notch or trying to muscle these little things open in order to get that on there. Right, so it works on all different kinds of these, right? I love it, Ginger. But like, these are fantastic little things that, again, I'm no longer trying to figure out how to keep these from unraveling. I got these spool huggers to do that. We sell them in a 4-pack. The 4-pack can be all one color, or they can be multicolor. We have pink, blue, orange, and green, and then we have a pack of one of each color. So it just depends what you like to do. And again, they come wrapped up like this in a pack of 4 for $2, right? So they're oh my gosh, they're the bank breaker. They're so expensive. And so but I like that we sell them in these little 4-packs so that you can just wrap it around your thread and go and just toss this into your bag, and you don't have to worry about it getting all over the place. So I've got so many of these, right? Had a whole little thing here. Plus, now they don't roll away. So I like the fact that it's got more meat on its bones, so to speak, than just keeping your thread tidy, right? Because nothing is worse than these little guys going straight off the end of the straight off the end of the table. So that's a lot of stuff, you guys. This is a lot of different fun things. We've got restocks galore. We've got tools. We've got new cleaning gadgets. We've got new water brush gadgets. We've got some oldies but goodies that are back. Thank you, Marion. I do appreciate that. You guys have been the greatest tonight. Like I said earlier when I came on the show, and then you can look at my pretty, isn't that pretty? Don't look right there though. I messed up. So aren't we the worst about that on our own, like to ourselves? But we're our worst critics, aren't we? But so yeah, we had a great day in the shop today. The weather was nice. Everybody who came in was like happy and they were thrilled. Thank you, Marion. I appreciate that for my terrible uh, foundation paper piecing. I am not good at it. I have never been good at it. And I just learned, the things you are not good at, you just put aside. Yes, if you can't see it from the back of a galloping horse, it doesn't count. That's what they say about quilting. That's what they say about mistakes. If you can't see it on the back of a galloping horse, or I think someone told me, if Washington can't see it from his charging horse, is the phrase I heard it as. I heard that in Baltimore. They said, if Washington can't see it from his charging horse, good enough for me. Yeah, it looks good to me too, from afar. If you just look at it, this is a sample I made for the shop, so, it doesn't have to be perfect. So, yes, the trick is to hold the thread in your non-dominant hand and use your dominant hand to move the needle to the thread, Charlotte. Telling you, been doing this a long time. See, I'm always thrilled when somebody's like, are you serious? I'm like, yes, trust me. I know what I'm talking about. I've been sewing a really long time. And yeah, so, if Washington can't see it from his charging horse, I think I'll be okay. So yeah. And like I said, today was just great. Like, people were happy, they were shopping. It was a beautiful day in downtown Paducah. The weather tonight is supposed to become that like crispy fall feeling finally. Yes. Always fun listening to your shows. Thank you so much. I do appreciate that. What is it? If you don't notice, well, riding a horse naked, it's probably okay. If somebody's riding a horse naked, besides Lady Godiva, I would say they're saying, hey, you missed a spot right there. You just say, I unfriend you. Oh yes, and Marion's right. In Japan, they fix their mistakes with gold. It's called kintsugi. Yes, and only God is perfect. So makers always put a mistake in their creation. I did always hear that about the Amish quilts, that they would intentionally make one part bad. They would intentionally make like one section of the quilt they would have as bad. And so, that was their, like, because only God is perfect. They have some strong thighs. Yes. Fall is my favorite time of year as well, Ginger. It is my favorite month of the year. October. I am so here for this weather. I am so happy that the weather is finally changing over. Thank goodness it is finally here, because we had just had a really hot summer and I am really glad to turn the air conditioning off. I spoke to an Amish quilter when she asked that. She said, laugh, like they did, like I don't make mistakes. Right? I know. I did hear today, as you know, everybody's phone did the thing the other day, right? The alert. And when the phones all did the alert, now I had seen that some people were saying, hey, if you are in a domestic violence situation and you have a phone that you are trying to keep secret, here you've got to remember to turn it off, so that the alert would not alert your partner that you had a secret phone. Well, apparently the Amish Some Amish men forgot to turn their phones off, and they're being shunned for having phones. So I save myself time and memory, so I make a mistake everywhere. Yeah, I you know, um, I long ago gave up trying to make everything super perfect. Uh, Done is better than perfect. I have so many. I still have UFOs, unfinished objects. I have my PhD, my projects half done. I and I often tell all my these are the jokes I make when I go and I do my lectures. But I call myself a pig farmer. I have lots of pigs. There's pigs literally. I can see a pig right there. It's a project in grocery sacks. It's We do it right. We have unfinished things. I would rather have more done things than perfect things. And I put up stuff in the shop and it's not perfect. And honestly, if you were to come into a shop and everything was like a museum and everything was immaculate and like over the top, I think you would be intimidated to try anything. And so yeah, I would rather have done than perfect. And I also believe that you should use the good stuff. Yeah, use the good stuff because we're only here for a little bit of time, right? And that and then what? Right? And I go into an antique store. I'm surrounded by antique stores on both sides of here, right? There's one right there 2 doors down and there's one right there at the end of the block. And I go in there and all I see are people's good stuff. And so use the good stuff. So uh and we have Mr. Spooky and Mr. Crinkles, and Mr. Crinkles has not moved, so not haunted. Not haunted that we know of. So you stay there, Mr. Crinkles. Uh, we've got lots going on here in the shop. We are working on some online classes and they are going up very soon. So look for those very shortly. I'm sure I will shout from the rooftops when they are ready. But in the meantime, take a look at all the cool new stuff over at the shop. If you are local, like Charlotte is, you can come on in. We're here. So that yeah, he hasn't moved that you've seen. Yes, 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 Marion. Yes. We eat off of china plates every day, every day, every day. So it is better used than not. Yes, Charlotte, come on in. We got your pretty little city is ready. The pattern for Paducah, Kentucky, or you can make it as a Kentucky, just Kentucky, is ready. So we've got those on the shelves. We've been busy. It's been good, right? But today, oh, I just have had the loveliest time in the shop. So it is time to go, my friends. I've enjoyed my time with you. I hope you have a wonderful, fantastic. I tried to say both words at the same time. Yes, thank you. Yes, time for Texas to cool off. Yes. You know, Marion, I looked in Illinois, but we had our sights set on a storefront in Morris. But I will talk about that. I will talk about that on the next show. We'll talk about that. And I'll even show you some pictures because I was so ready to open this shop in Morris. And then Paducah happened. Tomorrow is the first Saturday quilt group. Come on by after you're done. We're here till 4. So, but say hello to everybody for me, Charlotte. I will be here at the shop. Thank you, Ginger. I appreciate you. Take care of yourselves. Have a wonderful, fantastic, incredible weekend. Take care of yourselves, and I will see all of you